A very good morning to you. Many thanks for staying with KBC Channel 1. You are just in time for Biz Check. My name is Betty Kiptum and Lensa Odingo is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Now, over the next some candid discussions, including matters cybersecurity, how you can protect yourself as well as your business and why it is important in the first place. Also, in the second hour, we shall be talking about matters virtual reality. Do you know what it is? Have you ever experienced it? Do get in touch with us on Twitter. We are at KBC Channel 1. My personal Twitter handle is at Betty Kiptum. Let us have those conversations. During the course of the program as well, we shall be going to the field to interact with some of our reporters who are on the ground, following up on top stories of the day. All that is coming up here on Biz Check. But first, we want to have that conversation on matters cyber security. Of course, cyber security attacks have been on the rise in the country and, of course, around the world, considering that technology has really just become a part of our lives, and a lot of data is online. Many people can access it sometimes for the wrong reasons. To have this conversation is Linda Mwibanda. She is a cybersecurity consultant. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.
So just tell us about yourself, introduce yourself and what you do, and give us an overview of where cybersecurity is in Kenya right now.
Oh, thank you so much. My name is Linda Mwibanda. I'm a cybersecurity consultant, and I also do cybersecurity trainings. Consultancy, we help organizations identify cybersecurity vulnerabilities in their computer systems or other information systems, and also patch up the vulnerabilities. And when it comes to training, we have to train their users on good cybersecurity practices. Yes.
Right. So where is cybersecurity in the country right now? Of course, the reports that we get from the Communications Authority is that cyber attacks have been on the rise in the recent past. Yeah. Is this what you encounter in the field as well?
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's a lot of cases. There's an increase on cybersecurity attacks, ranging from personal people, the common people. They're having cyber attacks. For example, the common cyber attack is tuma kwa hii number, like the money frauds. That is a very common cyber attack. To banks losing money to organizations, for example, KPLC losing their tokens. That is a cybersecurity rather incident or an attack. Yes.
So when these, of course, there are ways that you can know your vulnerabilities.
Yes.
How do organizations specifically get to realize where they are vulnerable and where they should, improve the security bit of it?
In most cases, most organizations, they're able to know they're vulnerable when an attack happens. But when it comes to good practice, you have to do something called a pen test or an IT security test. And it's something that you have to be doing it continuously for you to know that your systems are vulnerable, because some of these vulnerabilities are not known to us, and some have not been exploited, or they have been exploited, but you have not felt the impact yet. So the good thing to do for you to do is to ensure that you do the tests. That is when you can know the strength of your system. You can be able to identify these vulnerabilities that exist in your systems and now be able to patch up. Yes.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, many organizations were forced to conduct their business online.
Yes.
Because the world literally shut down and physical meetings could not be possible. Yeah. So many organizations had to go online without preparing. Without preparing for that eventuality. So for such organizations which did not have systems in place, what can they do right now to improve their cybersecurity?
First thing which I noticed when it comes to the users, the first thing when they're procuring a system, or let's say when you're just going to buy a phone, the first thing you do is budget. You consider your budget, then the functionalities. Security is the last thing, and some people don't even think about security. So you'll just know your needs. I want a system, for example, I want a system that can help me have virtual meetings, that is maybe a Zoom application, or rather maybe a system to help me communicate, that is an email communication system. So you just consider your needs, but you do not think about security. So once you have it, then you realize this thing actually, they say roses have thorns. You realize there are some thorns in this system. And in most cases, system fail, or rather, let's say technology fail because of a security breach. So when it comes, it fails. And you will realize people are losing money. For example, when we embraced the technology of mobile money transaction. So now people are losing money, and now people are even being afraid. Like online banking, people are losing online banking, people are losing money, and now they do not embrace technology. Or something simple like information breaches, they're occurring. You find your data all over the place. And now, now the government is insisting on digital economy. And now we have one of the pillars for digital economy is digital skills and digital content creation and dissemination of this content, digital business. But now people have Twitter, that is a digital economy. People have, Twitter accounts, TikTok accounts. They're creating content, they're sharing content. Our youths are earning money from those accounts. But you hear someone tell you, like recently my colleague was telling me my YouTube has been hacked. Now they'll not be able to get the money from the views that have accumulated over that period. Mm-hmm. So that is the only thing that is failing us. And what I can say is that when you're embracing these new technologies, we have to consider security first. You as a person, security first. And also you have to use it, users have to be made aware on the importance of using these systems for the purpose they're meant for. Mm-hmm. Simply because you have a computer, you can access a network, and you know how to hack. It doesn't guarantee you, it doesn't give you the right to hack someone. It's like physically, you walk into someone's home, you find the door is open. It doesn't mean that you have to walk into their bedroom, to walk into their kitchen, open their fridge. That is, it's unethical. Mm-hmm. So once you have these technologies, just use them for the right purpose you're using them. Do not extend your use. Mm-hmm. So this one comes down to awareness. People have to know. And also they have to know now, how do they protect themselves? Mm-hmm. Something like password. That is the most simple thing that you can do. Have a password. But now when it comes to passwords, we also have challenges. People don't know to use the right passwords. Right. And you find that people have a lot of accounts. They have so many passwords, they don't even remember. They write down, they forget. So, and people are even using simple passwords that can be easily guessed. And now someone gets access into your system.
But Linda, when you talk about all these passwords, the platforms are very many.
Yes.
Be it social, we are talking your emails.
Yes.
There are bank accounts, all that. You have maybe even 15 or 20 passwords. Yes. Very important passwords. How does someone... Is there a formula someone can use to ensure that they are using strong passwords?
Yeah, there's a formula, mm-hmm. and there's some sites when you go to them, mm-hmm. They will tell you maybe they need a minimum of 8 characters, that is a password, mm-hmm. and also it has to be mixed by numbers, letters, special characters. But imagine, as you're saying, you have 12 accounts. How are you going to remember all that? Mm-hmm. And you're not supposed to use one password across all the accounts, mm-hmm. and you're supposed to change your password frequently. But now we have, because of technology, you have things like password managers. But I'm sure people don't know about them because there's no awareness out there. You just need one strong password, and what this password manager does, it creates passwords for you which are strong, which cannot be easily hacked or brute forced. So you use, like, this technology also. But the thing that we are lacking is awareness, knowing that actually for this vulnerability we have this solution. It's just lack of awareness.
Mm-hmm. Lack of awareness, and that's why we are here.
Yeah, that's why we are here.
Right. Sometimes when people are downloading apps and they're installing them, the app requests you for some entry to some bits of your phone, allow access to call logs or contacts or whatever it is. What would you say about allowing apps to access other apps in your phone? And how can someone maybe protect themselves and flag these apps that are looking to harm you, so to say?
Yeah, when you're downloading an app, let's say you need it. Do not just download things that you don't need. When you're downloading, that's something that you need. Let's say I want a video conferencing app. That is a Zoom app. I know when I'm on Zoom, I'll need to have my camera on. So when Zoom is requesting for my camera on, I have to give it access. But when that Zoom application, or rather that application, maybe I do not need access to my contacts, for example, Why should I give it access to contacts? Why should I give it access to my camera? And I know maybe this is just a mobile app for money transaction, or maybe it's a word processing app, or maybe a book. You want to read a book. We have online books. And now, or maybe a shopping app, but now it's requesting to access your photos, to access your camera, to access your contacts. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So when you're downloading an app, know what is the use of this app. Do I need a camera when I'm using this app? Do I need to activate my audio, my video when I'm using this app? If you don't need, then do not give those permissions, because some of these apps, they're just ways for hackers to get into your system. Yes.
Ways for hackers to get into your system. Remember, we are talking about cyber security and why you need to stay safe, why organizations also need to ensure that their cyber security systems are at the latest and very secure to ensure that your data is safe. Tell us your stories. Have you been hacked before? Do you have any concerns about your cyber security, or do you feel like your data is being accessed in a way it should not be? And just ask your questions. Linda Mwibanda, cybersecurity consultant, is here to answer those questions. Linda, I like that you brought out the issue about social media platforms and people making money out of them. So people should be more intentional about ensuring their accounts are very secure, right? For people who maybe they're not making money out of it, why is it important to still make sure your data is safe?
They say information is power, and actually data is part of information. It's only that it's not it's not processed yet. And when this information is in bad hands, you have so much to lose. Then it also exposes you as an individual. You see, I don't think whether there's anyone who wants all the information on the internet, although we have some, sorry to say, quote-unquote socialites who maybe will post about every detail of their lives. But I'm sure there are some things which they don't want it to be known. Right. For example, there was this incident where there was a hack into plastic surgery clinic. It was abroad, and now they were threatening the company that if they're not paid, they will expose information about the people who have undergone plastic surgery. Although you're posting your figure, yes, to us, but I don't think whether you want people to know. That some people might even have gone maybe for private matters, to have a surgery on the private matter. So you wouldn't want your information to be out there. Same to your account. Even if you're not making money, still it's yours. It's your thing. If you don't need it, then delete the account. But the fact that you still have it, then it means it's passionate to you. So you wouldn't feel happy when someone comes and takes away whatever is yours. Yes.
So that is on a personal level.
Yeah, on a personal level.
Let's talk more about the organizations, yeah, because you do a lot on that front. So for organizations, tell us how they would tailor their cybersecurity maybe plan, so to say. For instance, if you're doing maybe a digital plan, you have to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, the SWOT analysis, and you now plan what you need to do. Yes. So for organizations, are there specific areas they need to look at in their business to know this is where we are vulnerable, this is what we need to do, and how do you normally guide them through it?
Yeah, when it comes to organizations, first, they have to know their critical assets. And the first critical asset is your employee, the people and your customers, generally. Then maybe the information you're processing, the systems themselves, those are critical assets. You have to carry out an analysis, or rather an audit of your assets. Once you have them, then now you have to see how vulnerable or how strong are they. Are they secure or not? Once you identify the vulnerabilities, then now you go ahead and patch. And once you patch, you have to train your employees, users. Like you have to have good, like it has to be a culture, a cyber hygiene culture or a cyber security culture within the organization. Things like making sure you have passwords. If you have access cards, another thing, people just think that once you have the card, you're secure. No, you're not secure. You have to teach people how to carry these cards properly, because if someone can get access into a building, now this comes to physical security, into a building, you have antiviruses, you have firewalls, you have protected your digital space, but now your physical space, you just think that once you have the card, that's secure. No, it's not secure. You have to train people that when you have your card, you have to keep it safely, because it can be cloned and someone can gain access. If someone cannot get you through the cyber, they can come physically. So you have to just look at all those aspects and make sure that you're protected. One of the protections we advise people: have firewalls, have antiviruses, and spyware and malware, to just be scanning. And also we encourage organizations to be conducting penetration testing, because then also to have, I don't know, maybe to just be conversant of new cybersecurity attacks or threats, because you have things like zero-day attacks, and when it happens, those zero-day attack like WannaCry, it just comes, it's on your screen, it pops, it's a ransomware, it's holding you at ransom. You have to pay them, and you don't know who you're paying. You have to pay them. Nowadays they want to be paid in bitcoins, and it's a lot of money, so it's halting your organization. Another common attack that organizations think it's trivial: if you have a competitor, they'll not attack you physically or whatever, they'll come digitally to you. And what do? They'll have to steal your trade secrets. They'll have to spy around and know about your secrets. Secondly, they'll overwhelm your network. It's called denial of service attack. So it will be known for company A, they're very slow. And when you come to employees, they're disgruntled, their internet is not working. Then the company will even spend more money buying bandwidth. Not for them, they just don't know that actually our bandwidth is strained because of some external services which we do not need on the internet. And they're slowing down our internet, we are not operating efficiently, and we are spending more money. And your competitor on the other side, for them, their internet is working smoothly. If it's deliveries, if it's orders, they're just coming in very fast. Then they're doing the deliveries very fast. They're monitoring the applications. If it's maybe a taxi or whatever you're buying, you're monitoring the process very fast. So that is how organizations are losing on it. And so to say, I'm not exposing anyone. There's an audit which we did, and when we presented our results, they were like, this is so trivial. You cracked a password. Maybe your password, it was just for... it's for a machine which we no longer use it. But if it's not in use, what is it doing on your network? Then we should have a hacker mind. If it can be penetrated, if it's vulnerable, if there's just that small doubt, then it can be exploited. So if you see that your system, do not disregard any vulnerability that you see or any threat that you hear about. Whatever small, wanasema usipoziba ufa utajenga ukuta. That small thing that you are disregarding, that is what the hacker is taking advantage of. They just need that small window for them to gain access. Then they escalate their privileges. Before you know it, the whole organization is done, or the whole system is not functioning optimally the way it's supposed to do. Yeah. And
of course, for organizations, there is the data protection law that came into force, and they have to comply with it. Is it something that you help them do, and how do you normally see it happening?
Okay, we are not so much into data protection right now. That comes more of a legal. It's more of a legal framework.
But when you talk about cybersecurity, if your systems are not safe, it means that data can be accessed. And you end up breaching the laws of data protection, right?
If actually your system is accessed and someone has gotten access into your data, you don't know what this person can do with your data. They can expose it, and once it's exposed, that is a breach when it comes to our data protection law, and which is Data Protection Law 2018 or 2019, Data Protection Act. Yes, the DPA. So according to the DPA, you're supposed, you as the three players, the data processor, the consumer, and I think the data handler. I think I'm not so conversant with the DPA. Yes. So when it comes to that, when you breach it, actually as let's say a data processor, and this is someone who collects data from people. Let's say even at the entrance, at the gate, when you collect, this is people's data. So you're supposed to safeguard it, collect it in a secure manner, whereby you do not expose their personal identifiable information. And in most organizations in Kenya, we actually give out our personal identifiable information. That is all your names, your ID number, and your phone number. That is a lot of information. And when that information is in bad hands, yes, it will lead to other things. So when it comes to that, let's say a repercussion that can come to you, they can sue you. Even our Safaricom itself, it had a case. I don't know whether they have solved it, but there was a data breach, and some people's information was exposed. And now there was an organization, I don't remember its name, but it sued Safaricom, and they were supposed to compensate each person 11 million. So imagine if it's 100 people you're compensating, of which the cost was coming to some trillions of money, if they have to pay actually these people according to this case. It's out there, it's research. I just don't know the exact figures. So you see, an organization stands to lose a lot. So that is why we have laws of data protection to ensure that organizations, when they get people's information, they have to protect it, they have to handle it and process it and use it in a rightful manner. Yes. So
for cybersecurity, for organizations specifically, most organizations will probably do this once a breach happens. You know, they start looking for you to help them ensure that their systems are secure. What is the importance of having cybersecurity experts within the organization?
Yeah, because first, hiring a cybersecurity expert, it's expensive. It's expensive. And that is why you have like things like the cybersecurity strategy, whereby the government of Kenya is trying to ensure that organizations comply with cybersecurity standards. That is where they at least they need to have a cybersecurity personnel. And one of the key factors in that strategy is building cybersecurity capacity. How do we build capacity? By training more cybersecurity experts, which can be employed in organization. So when you have your person there, you'll pay them as just the normal salary, which is way much cheaper compared to hiring an expert who comes maybe once a year or twice a year, which is not that impactful. But when you have your standby expert there, they'll be contacting regularly. They'll be pen testing your system, like testing your system regularly, patching your systems regularly. That is the beauty of having a cybersecurity employee within your organization. Yes. And training a cybersecurity, for us, it's a bit expensive. The courses themselves are expensive. Then it takes time. So what you do, convert your IT person, take him for the short courses, for maybe if it's cybersecurity, ethical hacker, take them for ethical hacking, data protection, take them for that course, so that you just convert your current employees into what you want them to be, instead of maybe onboarding other people. Yeah. And speaking of the human resource bit of cybersecurity, you've said that it's very expensive to train cybersecurity experts. As a country, maybe where we are looking at, we are very tech savvy, you know, everyone is online, everyone is digital, and as we said earlier, the attacks are increasing. Is it time that we consider empowering more people to join the cybersecurity profession? Yeah. I believe, yeah, as a country we need to. Yes, we need to, because as you're saying, actually, there's a lot of digital penetration. That is, we have mobile networks and we have internet. Even if you go to Shago, in that remote area, you're able to make a phone call. You're able to access internet. It's very few areas where there's no internet penetration. And people are, besides even using the mobile phones, we are going smart. We have smart homes. And what is a smart home for you, for example? You have a smart TV. Almost every person in Nairobi I know of, they have at least a smart TV. You will find them, they have even cleaning robots. We have people who have cleaning robots, and they have cameras. You see, they're monitoring. You find that you have connected your phone with, you have linked it with your TV. Now that is an IoT. You're creating an IoT, Internet of Things. Yes. And now imagine you have a lot of you have a lot of things, but you don't know how to secure them. And actually you are in those spaces or you're using those things, but you don't know how to. Let's say you have a herd of sheep, but you have not fenced around them. So they'll keep on getting lost. They'll keep on getting attacked. So what we need as a country, we need to empower our youths. Of which there are people who are just passionate about cybersecurity. There's groups of young people who are just passionate about cybersecurity. They're always doing these things. Oh, I've done this. I've been able to hack the system. They do discuss among themselves. But when it comes to hiring them, you find that they're not getting jobs. The requirements that are put out there for you to get a cybersecurity expert, they're so high until you wonder, are you looking for a special human being or just a normal human being? And they also look at papers, but mark you, papers do not help. It's about the brain. Look at someone's capabilities. When this person comes to an interview, expose them to an interview, put them in a scenario, let them hack your system, let them say that your system has this and that vulnerability. But what do? We look for papers. Someone has done CISA auditing, but they only know the theory part of it. But when it comes to hands-on, these people are not good. And the people who are hands-on, it's someone sitting in Roysambo in a room trying to penetrate a system so that they can steal money, because they don't have employment. What are they using their skills for? To hack banks, to lie to you, to makwahi number, so that they can be able to pay their bills. So I believe that the government should take an initiative, since we are going digital, also be proactive on ensuring that we are safe while we are in the digital space. That's how we are going to succeed.
That's how we are going to succeed.
Yeah.
Over the years, how has the process, I mean, not the process, have we improved in terms of our cybersecurity in Kenya?
Yeah, I believe we are not, we cannot compare to where we were some years back.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe the government actually is doing a good job, but still we are not there yet. First, we're embracing digital, rather technology, so easily, and we are also embracing cybersecurity because there was a program that the government had started for national cybersecurity training. They were training young people, then they disbursed them to various organizations within the country. That is a big plus to the government. Now they have the cybersecurity strategy. This is something that was not there, but now it's there. It will just whatever this strategy is supposed to do is to provide unified strategies of doing cybersecurity activities. So from my opinion, the government is trying, but we are still not there yet.
We are not there yet.
Yes.
How would you compare us with maybe more developed economies in terms of cybersecurity?
Let's compare ourselves to a country like, the developed communities. I believe for them they are a step higher. Because you find that their government is funding. Have you ever heard of state-funded cyber hackers or attacks? Yeah, we have such people. There are some states which fund their youths, or rather their people, their citizens, to conduct cybersecurity operations. And some of them even attack other countries so that they can know their secrets and also just benefit money or even just control their political whatevers. Yeah, so I believe for us, we need to do better. Honestly, we need to do better.
We need to do better.
Yes, because come to think of it, cybersecurity is not just about someone being hacked. Maybe person losing money, that is 1,000. No, that is just the bottom barrel of cybersecurity. Because when you think about our critical information infrastructures, and now what is a critical information infrastructure? These are things like we have Safaricom, we have KPLC, we have Nairobi Waters, we have our airports. Those are critical information infrastructures. When they go down, the government is at risk of losing a lot of money, and also even we can lose lives. Recently, I was doing a study on the SCADA system. Those are industrial control systems which are being used by KPLC. In a few years, or we always hear about token Mwitu. How is that done? You know, that is a cyber attack, but we do not realize it. The government is losing a lot of money compared to an individual losing 5,000 because of Tumakwahi number. So, but you realize that now, for example, that SCADA system, their logic access control, it has a vulnerability from the manufacturer. The manufacturer knows there's a vulnerability, but they roll out the system. Okay. So it's up to you as a country, because that is on a scale of a country. It's up to you as a country to identify that vulnerability and patch it up. So whatever KPLC, what happened at KPLC was the people exploited their controller logic system, and they were able to give people Mwitu tokens, the tokens, quote in quotes. And think of it that way. This person is not interested in money. This person wants to kill people. Now, what do? They increase the power rations in certain areas. Let's say if Syokimau was receiving 500 megawatts, now it goes to 1,000. What will happen? Fires, people's electronic gadgets. What will they happen? Utakuja, you find at home your computer is blown because of the power surges. Right. So you know that is so serious. So we should, even as a nation, move our minds from the basic cybersecurity attacks
to the bigger picture.
Yeah, to the bigger picture.
Right. We now want to talk about the national security and how the use of technology can be leveraged to improve national security. Linda.
That's a very serious matter to discuss when it comes to national security and cybersecurity. We only know matters national security will concern about the KDF, where they have defense on the land, defense in water, and defense on air. But now we have a new aspect, defense within the cyberspace. And thinking about it, you can ask yourself, what is the future of crime right now? Besides the normal cyber crimes that we have, when it comes to a national security issue, what is the future of crime? Right now we have these the banditry attacks which are going on in Turkana. They're doing it I don't know, physically or in a traditional manner. But just think of the future where we are all sophisticated, we are using technology. Or when you think about Al-Shabaab attacks, like the incident that happened at Dusit, where the attackers went there, they started shooting people. But now think of it, because of right now we have a lot of emerging technologies, where people embracing technology now to conduct crime, even carry out wars. For example, we have 3D printing. You can say that people will not come in with bombs, people will not come in with guns in your building or in your hotel. But now, because of 3D printing, someone can come and print out a gun, right? And print out those bullets which can kill you, even if they're not fire bullets, but they can injure you, because, they can harm you. Now think about another thing, the drones. Right now we're using the drones for surveillance and maybe for taking pictures. These normal drones, but think about where we have drones loaded with bullets. And now instead of an Al-Shabaab coming there and shooting people, it's a drone that is coming to shoot people. It's so scary because we as a nation, now you have to ask yourself, do we expose our soldiers to such? Because even if we expose them, right now we sometimes expose them to Al-Shabaabs and they are actually killed. But now you are exposing your soldier to fight a cyborg, or rather now a drone. So as a country, when it comes to security, we have to think of not just physically training our soldiers. We have to embrace technology. We have to embrace these emerging technologies. We also have to design our drones. We also have to design our cyborgs that can go and fight in the place of our soldiers. Although it's expensive, yes, but it's something doable because the civilized countries, the Westerners, are doing it. And in future, actually, you'll not, trust me, you'll not hear people shooting others. It will be cyborgs shooting you. It's the same case that nowadays people do not come and mug you and kill you so that they can take your money. No, they do that virtually because right now you're storing your money virtually. So it's a bigger domain when you think about it. We should not just peg our minds on, although it's very important to see how the common mwananchi is suffering when it comes to cybersecurity. But that is a matter of just making them cyber aware and also sensitizing our organizations. But when it comes to the national security, it's up to the nation, to our security forces, to embrace technology. Yes.
You know, when you're talking about all these possibilities in terms of technology and war, you're making me remember some movies that I have watched, right? And sometimes they say that things that people thought about hundreds of years ago are coming to pass right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not far-fetched.
It's not far-fetched. Something like Corona, people, we saw it in the movies actually, but now it came and we were like, okay, it was someone, maybe a psychic or what, but whatever you can think about, that thing can be manifested. So if you think about, if you say that tomorrow maybe there'll be a cyborg shooting people within town, actually it's possible, it can happen. We have seen them in the movies. So we cannot rule out that aspect. And the same way we're embracing technology to education, technology to hospitals, I mean medicine, work, we have an e-government, the e-cabinet. We should also have an e-warriors or maybe army, which we have an army which is digital. We don't need humans fighting. We can also send our drones, we can send our cyborgs to go and fight.
Well, very important pointers. Now, I would like you to speak to a Kenyan who is maybe watching. They have a phone. They always access all these digital platforms. I would like you, in the spirit of creating awareness, to speak to them and just give them some pointers on what they can, or pointers that they can use to improve their cybersecurity.
Okay, all right. To a common mwananchi, what you're using mostly, it's your phone. What do you use your phone for? Communication, passing out your communication, communicating with your peers, your family, your colleagues. We use it for transaction, money transaction. We use our phones for reading. We read through our phones. And let me not just say phone, we use our mobile gadgets. That is so commonly within the citizens. And now the basic thing that you have to do, first, ensure your privacy. How? When you're online, avoid sharing a lot of information about you, personal identifiable information. Do not give it to the public. That is, hold it passionately, because if you expose it, someone can take advantage of it. You might say, it doesn't matter. We have kidnapping cases. You know, cybersecurity cascades down to physical security. You're sharing your picture. You have your child is going to school. You're a new mom, you're excited. You take a picture of your child. It has a school logo. You then tag your child's name. Our children nowadays have accounts. You're posting it out there. Someone is broke somewhere. They see a target. I'll come take your child. I know the child by name. I'll address the child by name. Your mommy so-and-so has called me. I'll come in a posh car, has called me to take you here and there. I know where you go, because when you visit these places, you're taking picture of everything. Basically, I know your life from A to Z. When you have an issue with your husband, your partner, we all see that. So now, I come, I take your child, I kidnap your child. I'm asking for a ransom, or rather that fee that pay after kidnapping. I'm asking you for that money. You see, so just ensure you do not post a lot of information about yourself, or rather mislead people. Post lies. Let people call you a fake, but you're protecting yourself. You get it. Then also just ensure that your gadget has a password. That is the basics of cybersecurity. And if you have a lot of passwords to remember, look for password managers. When you just Google for password managers, there are a lot of them online. For example, LastPass is the easiest of them all. It's a password manager. It will help you create passwords and also remember those passwords. So you just need one master password and you remember, and you're able, at least that is the basic. Another thing, ensure you have two-factor authentication on your gadget. You have a password, something you know, maybe something that identifies you on your phones. We have smartphones. They'll require facial recognition, maybe a voice, a fingerprint. Do not just have a PIN and you leave it at that. Just go to an extra mile of having two two-factor authentication, so that even if your gadget gets in bad hands, or even if someone gets, a bad person gets access to your account, at least there'll be a verification. Let's say someone is hacking you online, your banking, your online banking, they're hacking it online. You will have a notification on your phone that is two-factor. You have a password, and also you have you've linked it to their mobile phone. You get a notification. So you will question yourself, I've not initiated this transaction. Why is it asking me to authorize this transaction?
Right. Linda, you will tell us more about the two-factor authentication. Of course, very important pointers there to ensure that your gadgets and your information is safe. BizCheck, we would like to take a quick break. When we come back, this conversation about cybersecurity continues. Stay with us. Many thanks for keeping it KBC Channel 1. This is BizCheck. My name is Betty Kiptum. In studio, we are having a conversation about cyber security. And before we went on the break, we were talking about how to ensure that your information on your gadgets, your mobile phone, your home gadgets, as well as even your laptops are safe. This conversation is with Linda Mwibanda. She is a cybersecurity consultant. Linda, before we went on break, you were talking to us about the two-factor verification. Please go on with that.
Okay, two-factor authentication, or rather multi-factor authentication, is where when you want to gain access in maybe your system or your gadget, you do not just use you do not just use let's say a password only, or let's say a fingerprint only. You must have various factors that authenticates you, that makes authentication is letting the system know that you're the right user for this application, or rather the system. That is where, as I was telling you, when you have, let's say, your mobile banking app, you must link it with your phone, and this goes to all our financial institutions. They should ensure that for someone to access their mobile money applications or online banking applications, they must be authorized or authenticated for them to gain access into it. That is, you can provide your email address, then as a code is sent into your email address, you access your email address, then key in the code, and another code may be sent on your mobile phone, or a call is made on your mobile phone, then you key in on that call, or you key in that code, or you receive that mobile phone. That will eliminate or rather minimize the issue of fraud when it comes to mobile banking fraud. And another issue is data breaches. It will minimize the issue of data breaches. Yes. So that is what Kenyans should ensure that they are doing on their gadgets. Yes. The least you can have is a password. The least you can have, and remember, you can use those password managers, as you said. Managers, yes. Right. Yeah. So as we come to a close of this conversation, Linda, what is your hope for cybersecurity in Kenya? My hope is that we all embrace it, and we all have that mind of a hacker. Do not just think basic. Because when you're using these technologies, you're not using them basically. You're using them as an expert. So also, when you're protecting yourself, protect yourself as an expert. Think like a hacker. As long as there's a vulnerability, just know that it can be exploited, and do not underestimate. Do not underestimate the ego of someone who is trying to prove you wrong. These are hackers. Some will not do it for money, but they just want to prove the system wrong. We have such people. So do not ever underestimate the ego of that someone. So if you know that it's vulnerable, just know that it can be exploited, and patch it up.